Welcome. I'm Jim Ellermeyer. I'm a behavioral health therapist, and perhaps you're not familiar with a local organization here in Pittsburgh called Doors Open Pittsburgh. Doors Open Pittsburgh offers some guided and walking tours of various sites and events and places around the city of Pittsburgh. And as a behavioral health therapist, I chose to take a walking tour of one of my favorite places on earth, and that's Highland Park, located in East Liberty, Pennsylvania. Now, you may think, well, what's so special about this tour? Well, as a mindfulness-based cognitive behavioral therapist, what I like to do is introduce people to the concept of paying attention on purpose, and that mindfulness is not necessarily sitting on a satin pillow going all day. It's about participating in your life and being present. On this tour, not only are we going to be introduced to the sights and sounds and historical data of Highland Park, what we'll also do is introduce you to various ways to participate in aspects of your life, to observe, to describe, to participate, to be able to label and describe accurately how you're thinking and feeling in order to create memories. As we go through life, we can accumulate t-shirts, we can accumulate knickknacks, but one of the most important things and the only thing is we really carry is memories. So on this tour, we'll be participating in mindfulness activities, some breath activities about being in the moment, so you can translate and incorporate the techniques that you'll learn on this mindfulness-based walking tour into every aspect of your life. For times and ticket information, please go to www.doorsopenpgh.org. Thank you. Be there or be square. Welcome back to our continuing conversation with our delightful guest, the unwilting Tatiana. Have you had any tag team experience?
Oh yeah. I've teamed with a couple of different people. Teamed with Gigi Jacobs out in Ohio. Teamed with Keith Hott, also out in Ohio. But recently, I've been teaming with two students from 880 Wrestling, Nix Wild and Reese Hayes. And we are the trios team known as the Wildflowers.
Okay.
And I've been getting a lot of work doing tag teams with them.
Oh, cool. So, how about feuds? Feud seems to be a real common theme.
Oh, yeah. The current feud that I am in is with a woman named Valerie Verman. It's down in World Domination Wrestling Alliance, which is down in West Virginia. And she and I have been telling this story for months, where we're very similar to each other, but we're also very different. We're both very beautiful, very talented women, but for different reasons. I surround myself with flowers and I do my makeup a certain way and I put out the best looking version of myself that I can. And Valerie does more natural makeup and she just shows off how good of a body she's built for herself. And we're both very, very competent, very good wrestlers, but in different ways. And the story that we've been telling is our characters do not think the other is good enough, and we just keep fighting about it. And we just keep getting in each other's way and pissing each other off. And so this story just keeps going back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. In our latest round, Valerie beat me. We had a submissions match where I kept trying to lock in my Fujiwara armbar and rip her arm off. And the whole match was her, making it hard for me to breathe. And she beat me by basically squeezing the life out of me and making me pass out. And I don't think that feud is over. But it's worked so far because we're both invested in this story. We basically work together to make this story make sense. We come up with little things to yell at each other. We come up with little insults to throw in our promos. We'll come up with little spots that just add a little bit of we're trying, excuse me. We'll add in just a little bit of pizzazz here and there to just help that match feel more realistic.
Do you get some help with the storylines? Do you get suggestions?
Well, I get suggestions all the time, and if I'm not feeling confident in the story, I'll ask for help. At least right now where I'm at. And I love getting suggestions, and I'm not opposed to asking for help. But where I'm at right now, I feel very confident in my own storytelling abilities.
Do male wrestlers respect female wrestlers?
Most of them do, yeah. Most of them say they do. Some of them say they do, but they do not show it. At least they don't show it well enough for it to feel real. While the wrestling scene is changing, where it's more acceptable for men and women to compete against each other, there's still quite a few guys in the business who just hold on to the idea that they cannot touch a woman, not even in wrestling. They refuse to do it. Some of them won't even do it during practice. I've had many instances where I was trying to help a male student learn a strike, or for instance, like throwing a clothesline, and they'd run at me and they'd pull back as hard as they possibly could before actually hitting me. And I'd tell them, you're not going to learn if you're afraid to hit everyone. And they'd say, well, I'm not afraid to hit everyone. I just can't hit a girl.
This is a question I'm sure everyone has out there. Do you make any money?
Sometimes. Most of the time, at least for me right now, the answer is no. I either break even or something happens on the road where I take a loss.
However, you do get paid.
I do.
Okay.
I do get paid.
So where do you see yourself going from here? Where do you...
Ooh. I'm going to spend the next year in Pittsburgh. That is 100% certain. However, as much as I love Pittsburgh, as much as I love the people, the promotions, everything, I feel as though I need a change of scenery if I want to bring myself to the next level. One of my goals in wrestling is to wind up on TV at least once.
Yeah.
And to get on TV, you have to be at a certain level within the ring. You have to have a certain kind of look. Or, one of those has to supersede the other in a way that not having the other doesn't matter as much because you're making up for it. And that's different for everyone. The majority of people on television are incredibly talented and have busted their asses to get there. And for me, I want to get there. But the people I'm working with, they're as good as they are, as much faith as they have in my ability to perform, I feel like they all know me too well. They almost can't push me farther than they already are because they have too much confidence. They just feel like I'll just rise to it. And that's honestly great. It's wonderful that I have that kind of support system.
That's kind, but it sounds more like a comfort zone to me, Jess. Yeah. It's always said, if you want to be a better violin player, hang around people who play the violin better than you do.
Exactly. I feel like the best step for me is to go to a place where everyone is better than me and start busting ass to meet their standards.
Would you describe yourself as a professional wrestler who moonlights as an artist, or an artist who moonlights as a professional wrestler?
Oh, no. I don't know. Oh, no. That's a tough one. Some days it mostly feels like I am a wrestler moonlighting as an artist, because I know that's where I want to put the majority of focus in, improving myself. And then other days it feels like, oh man, I am definitely moonlighting as a wrestler. What am I doing? I can't believe I'm still doing this.
So, how would anybody out there, if they're interested in finding out where you're performing, where your matches are at, how would they do that?
They can just check my social medias. I'm pretty active on social media, especially Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Um, I'm const- I'm constantly posting content and making videos to sort of interact with fans and um, give them something to look at. And anytime that a match is announced, I promote it as hard as I can. Um, Today, for instance, Assault Wrestling Alliance down in Maryland announced that I will be returning to face Mother Endless for the Rose Division Women's title.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Um, the last time I was down there was the inaugural women's title match, and Mother Endless defeated me. But now I'm finally coming back to face her again, and I'm planning on pushing the crap out of that match because I'm so excited to go back.
That does sound exciting. So when I was surfing Instagram, and that's how we do get some of our guests, I you caught my attention because of your your looks and the costuming is just fantastic.
Thank you.
And I like the way that you presented yourself, and I was really taken back and excited when the producer of this program knew you.
Yeah. Uh, yeah, no, I've known Sorg for a very, very long time. He's seen me through a lot of highs and a lot of lows.
So, being a female, an attractive young lady, and take that just the way it's intended, how do you deal with the? Obviously, there's some people who are can be inappropriate.
It's an ongoing learning process. I'm much better at dealing with them now than when I first started. I I kind of take my customer service training and utilize those skills, and I try to approach every fan like I would a difficult customer. I'm sorry. I try to approach every difficult fan the way I would a difficult customer. I stay professional. I basically put myself into a mode of representing a brand. And then I just try to de-escalate the situation as best as I can or remove myself from it. And sometimes it works, other times it doesn't. I have had to block people because they were continuing to be difficult. But I just try to go about it the way I've been trained to go about it in the past.
Excellent. Well, you're absolutely delightful, and it's so great to have you on this evening, the roster of guests. So, if anybody would like to perhaps find out how to get involved in a wrestling game, how would they contact you?
They are more than welcome to shoot me a DM. My social media handles are all Tatiana Wrestles on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, or they could shoot me an email at TatianaTheBlueRose@gmail.com. I'm always happy to answer questions about the Unwilting brand, about wrestling, about getting involved. Um, and, occasionally some people want to buy merchandise or content, and I'm more than happy to discuss that with them as well.
Well, we're going to put your links up on our site. So we used to have a little thing. We're revamping the site. But we used to have Birds of a Feather, where our collaborators and our good friends are people that we want to promote, and we want to promote you, put you out there, and give you a platform because I think you're pretty spectacular.
Thank you. I
Uh,
really appreciate that.
yeah, yeah. So, Tatiana, what final message do you have out there, particularly for the young ladies?
If you have something you want to do and folks are telling you that you don't have what it takes, the answer is really you just have to find what it takes to get yourself there. Every door has a key, and you always have the tools at hand to make the key for yourself if that's what you want. There's
Excellent. Excellent. So at the end of every podcast, Jess, we offer a free prescription that you can get filled anywhere. And that's fruits, nuts, and vegetables, and unplug your television and take up fishing. And for a truly mindful experience, we suggest that you fish without bait. And we ask people to do a kindness to themselves and do a kindness for another, to forgive another and to forgive themselves. If we're all not God's children, none of us are. Till all are free, none are free. Namaste, my friends.
If you're interested in flying the colors of fishing without bait, click the shop icon on our website. We have clothing, mugs, cell phone cases, and so much more. Show the world that you fish without bait. This show is a member of the Sorgatron Media Podcast Network. Find out more at sorgatronmedia.com.